Holy snapping duck shit.
My good mate from Bump and Run Booker joins us.
I'm excited for another great show tonight. Give it the hoot nanny.
Hey everyone, welcome on the Trackside with Copper, brought to you by GARAGE16. Kins and Book are back for another full-on week. Yes, we do have another show tomorrow to bring you, but we'll touch on more about that a bit later on. But my good friend Books, mate, what's the weather doing down in the beautiful Hawke's Bay?
It's not too bad actually at the moment. It'll be good for the weekend racing. I mean, they've changed it up actually here in the Hawke's Bay. They got so many entries for their weekend. I didn't think they get many after teams. That it's actually going to be the Hawke's Bay Stock Car Champs. So there you go, heaps of entries. So they're making the Hawke's Bay Stock Car Champs, and heaps of TQs have turned up. But of course, they're having a Stock Car Soccer. Sounds like a what's happened there, Kins? You've hit the right. Hang on, let me get the right button for you. Now do it. Oh no, now do it. There we go. Yeah, that's it. They're the Stock Car Soccer, mate. So that car's going to get smashed around by stock cars. I'll tell you what, if you go in there, you're going to have a laugh. I'm supposed to try and be the commentator this weekend at Miani, and I feel like I'm going to be laughing a lot when this race comes out, mate. You know, was it Team Black versus Team Pink with flowers and something? It's going to, as I say, with rainbows and with flowers. Oh my goodness! But yeah, it looks like it'll be a good meeting. But mate, last night was an awesome night. We had good fun with the Christchurch Glen Eagles and with Marco and Steve the Māori. I mean, that was a good night, mate. I enjoyed that last night, and I'm sure the people watching enjoyed it as well. But tonight, it's all about the BDC Engineering New Zealand Modified Championship this weekend at Waikaraka Speedway, and mate, we went to the modifiers last year, and how much fun was that watching those guys at Stratford? And of course, you've got, you know, a pretty emotional weekend, I think, for some. I mean, it's Foxy's last big one. We'll talk to him soon, but I'm a little bit sad by that, to be honest with you, Kins. I thought I was sitting here today doing on my bizzo and just started thinking about this weekend, and you know, me and you, we love our modifiers. We've followed them for a while, you know, and yeah, it made me a little bit sad thinking about that, to be honest, to be fair. I know it's a celebration of a great career and that, but yeah, I think I was still a little bit like, you know, like when it'd be like when horse retires for me, mate, you know, in the super. I think I'll be the same. I'll be like, I don't know if I want to watch that now, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you get, you know, like, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to me that I sort of had that moment today that I'm sure a lot of people around the country that follow the modifieds and have followed Foxy through his career have the same, and even some of the drivers, you know, like Brad Lane would have watched Foxy beside his dad racing all those years. I mean, there's got to be that little moment where you think, oh, you know,
yeah. I know,
you know
how
what
you're
I'm
feeling,
saying,
mate, because I do, because I had the similar type of feeling today, knowing that we were doing the New Zealand Modified Buildup, the BDC engineering show tonight, and to talk with a man that we very well know that was very shy of media, didn't like the limelight as such and the camera stuff, but he's worked out technology and everything like that. And yeah, after 40 years, I think it is, it's coming to the end of an era. He was the guy who told us on one of the earlier shows, you know, he used to hide in the flax bush as a kid and then sneak on in there to watch the racing, and look at what he's done. And I was talking to Fredo Morgan earlier today. You know, we're messaging each other, and him and Foxy sitting there having the morning tea together. And, you know, he's like a true ambassador for the class of modifieds as Foxy. You know, so I hope everyone celebrates what he's done over his career. It is going to be emotional when you think about those people who've been alongside Foxy for many years. You know, it'll really resonate. If we go back to Randy Tarrant talking about the Palmy teams when he was in the parade, he said then it was quite emotional for him. That was his final time. Jordan Deere was the same, because of the spectacular show that it was. But we'll catch you with Foxy soon. Let's just get quickly into this because we've got a pretty full-on show. AMS will be back with us with the Speedway Excellence Awards. That is tomorrow night, and we do have the special, the MIP, the Mini Stocks and Paradise Buildup.
Absolutely. So please do join us tomorrow. I mean, a lot of people don't understand, but these kids, they're the future, and it's great. You need to come and have a listen to these kids because they're fantastic talkers, but also kids. I just want to give out the condolences from us in the rallying world of New Zealand. Young man Mark Tapper passed away. Very sad. Our wishes and thoughts are with his family and his kids. We hope they are. We know it's a hard time. We can't say we hope you're doing well, but our thoughts and prayers are with Mark Tapper's family, and we hope they can celebrate his life for what it was, basically, eh?
Yeah, definitely. People have said the comments are way too young and everything like that as well. But yeah, you do think of those people at the stage who are going through this very, very sad time. Just to highlight and say hello to Aaron Ferguson, Marcus and Kaylee Tidd, Jason Coley, Tyler Murdoch, Newton Gorge. Newton Gorge is in Group 2. Newton, good to have you on the show. Barry Hunter, another modified driver that's racing this coming weekend as well. So I'll give you the details on that. Barry also in Group 2. Mike Harvey, our man from out of Ripco Huntley. Tracy Vincent, Darren Letwood as well. Bevan Gilgore, Scott Honeybode. Oh, Ras watching, bro. Rawari Cody Marshall, Alcin Tuwani. Let's bring in Hans from the actual Auckland Speedway track. Hans, mate, welcome into the show. Good to have you on board, bro.
Hey guys, good to be in.
Hey, mate.
Hey, just quickly, thanks for joining us. Just to elaborate, obviously, working behind the scenes for this big special event, the New Zealand Modified Champs. It was going to be a two-nighter, but obviously the decision made a couple of weeks back to make it on the one night, 2 groups. It's going to be full of action.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's as you said, it's a bit unfortunate as it's changed from the 2 to the 1, and but as like you just said, there's 2 groups, the 2 qualifying heats, so reverse grids of what the drivers get in their grid for qualifying to then go through the free heat 20-lap final, and then obviously, as you just said, those 3 heats for then the drivers to find out who's got top points after the 3 heats to determine the champion for this season.
Yeah, you've been involved with that speedway track in particular. You're the voice on the microphone, one of many. How many years have you done that gig for? How many years have you been associated with that track?
In terms of associated and helping, working off the track and stuff, probably coming up 7-8 years now in terms of commentating and stuff. Obviously, but then I was a little bit longer, crewed for a couple of guys and stuff, and then it all just started out as a little young fella that went along with the old man and sat in the grandstands for a while just watching, and then you're just getting hooked on it, I mean,
yeah, okay.
That just became a Saturday night hobby, the old man and I, that I just went along there for a while, and then got involved knowing people and getting involved, and then it turned out to come the commentator.
So this rolls into my next question then. Obviously, Jamie Foxx, as Booker and I alluded to at the start of this, it's a bit hard to resonate. The guy that's raced for many decades, his final New Zealand Championship, and it's quite ironic that it's on his home track. You've seen a race there over the years. You were a young man with Dad watching the race, and you were crewing there. You've actually had the luxury of commentating, saying his name quite a bit when he's out there, whether it be the Super Dirt Cup, the Auckland Modified Champs, those 2 events alone, mate. He's won 100 times if you look at all the accolades, just to be honest with you. What's it going to be like for you knowing that Jamie's farewell at the New Zealand Champs on that home track?
I think with the season as a whole for a man like Foxy, he's obviously decided to hang the boots, hang the helmet. Obviously, I guess for the New Zealand title alone on his home track, I mean, it's awesome to have it there for him. If he wins it, I mean, it would just, I think it'd rattle the house. It would just be absolutely awesome to see him. The amount of years and probably I guess you could probably say several 100,000 laps he's done around the place. It would it'd just be something absolutely awesome to write home about. That he's won his final title on the home track. He's obviously got some strong competition that he's going to have, but the guys, he's travelled north, south, east, and west for the class and for the club and all that. And I mean, it's just you have him there in the modified class in Auckland, and it's just fantastic to know that for the club and that, and just to have a guy like him around. I mean, he's always easy and always good to have a chat. I mean, I don't think in terms of when I've commentated, I don't think he's ever said, "Nah, sorry, I'm too busy," or "No, I can't do it. Got to do something." He's always made time to have a chat, have a laugh, and whatever's happened. I mean, he's obviously had multiple event wins that we've commentated him on. I think the biggest one as well that he was happy to have a chat about was a couple of years ago when he absolutely, I mean, people probably remember it. It was a teams, I can't remember the event, probably a teams nationals night, and he almost threw it up over the fence down in Pit Bend, down in turn 3 and 4, and he just, came up, had a chuckle, had a laugh, and he was all good about it.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean,
it is.
he's like you said, he's got some fierce competition, but to see him doing this at Wakaraka in his final season and the title, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, totally, 100%, mate. Let's give us a rundown. Obviously, you're here to join us and tell us a bit about that format, how it's going to work, especially for the fans that are heading up. And I'm guessing there will be a live stream of that as well for those who can't make it. It's actually more than a New Zealand Modified Chance brought to you by BDC Engineering, but it's also kind of that farewell part of it. So give us a rundown on what the fans can expect on Saturday, Hans.
So it's obviously, as you said, the event's changed. So it's now the one-nighter. So it's two groups, two qualifying heats, reverse grid of what you draw. And then the top 9 go through to the finals, 2 out of repecharge. And then obviously 3 20-lap finals races with a front, middle, back grid draw. And then after that, top and points, obviously your Uni 1 NZ, second, third, and so forth. But it's obviously still going to be a lot of racing. Still, 7 good modified races that are going to hit the track. I mean, it's a fantastic track for mods around there. We've seen mods going sometimes nearly going 2 to 3 cars wide. And I mean, there's guys and girls that know the place like the back of their hand. It's awesome to have. Like obviously, you're just talking about it being Foxy's final farewell. There's been a fair amount of track time for these guys and girls, and a lot of them have been taking advantage when they can of that, getting up to have a run. I think we've been averaging fields of around 9 to 12 cars each week they've had them, and it's always just a place that has some fantastic modified racing. So it's certainly going to be a thrilling, and despite it being one night, it's going to be a thrilling event.
7 o'clock gets underway, even though with the
No, pretty early
night.
now.
Okay.
6:30 start time. There'll be a quick practice for the guys and girls beforehand. In terms of the racing action, it's a 6:30 start. There's also obviously stock car racing, and I'm not sure what the other classes, but there's another support class running as well. So street stocks are also running, so that will make for a good night's racing. But definitely going to be a fantastic show. And I mean, you've got, like you said, you've got guys and girls in there that have been very competitive. Brad Lane's obviously current title holder. Foxy. These guys obviously been being Foxy's last season as well. They've been running across the course of the season. Thanks to Jim and his team, a bit of a Foxy farewell season. You can say they've had a couple of events already. And just the form that you're seeing out of some of these cars already and these drivers, you can't really probably pick who's going to be able to win it. But I mean, the heart says, the mind says, But it's certainly going to be a fantastic event, and obviously the weather forecast is looking brilliant. But I mean, it'd probably be an awesome story to write home about 101 times if Foxy did it. But he's got some fierce competition. But it's always not going to be over till that last lap. And I think the last title we had here, it wasn't decided until about the last 2 laps or so. I was looking back that it got decided. And so it's a fantastic place for modified racing. They produce fast thrilling racing. And I mean, one guy certainly, like in his last meeting, you can talk to him a little bit later on, he blew half his wing off the car and he just kept going, a young little Brad. But it's going to be an awesome meeting. So it's definitely going to be up there for all.
Awesome. Hey, Hans, look, thanks for popping in to join us for a little chat to give us a bit of a rundown what the race fans can look forward to. It's a special occasion as well, and we appreciate your time. Keep up the good work at the track on the microphone, mate, and no doubt we'll catch up around the tracks sometime soon. But thank you, Hans. Take care, mate, and always good to have you on the show, bro. Catch you later, eh?
He's very cheers.
Thanks,
Cheers, guys.
mate.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
So yeah,
Cool.
It's going to be an
Awesome. Should be
exciting
good.
format, I think, Kins, to be fair. And if, as a spectator, to see, you know, the best modifiers going up against it. And he said there's some tough competition. I mean, there is some tough competition. The you 1, 2 NZ that are here tonight as well to talk to us, they're tough. I mean, you look at Cody Hutter, how well has he been going this season? You know, it's just, it's on, man. It's just, it's going to be on, bro. It's awesome. I mean, look at that. You know, it's, and all those drivers are more than capable, you know. Maybe Sam might throw a span in the works, mate, and knock her brother out the way and take the title. You never know, eh?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's got her married name there, Sam Keeling as well. Newton Gorge is watching the show as well, you know. Another female in there, Kaylee Brooks. The list just goes on. He knows Auckland used to race out here, the Haig brothers back in the day, Alan and Corey, but Alan's coming up from Christchurch. Good to see a few Southerners, Reuben Brown, and amongst that, Steve Thompson always travels. Then you got the Stratford contingent, Gary Leonard as well. You've got Brad Parkinson and look in the amongst that. PJ Ferguson, if he gets in front, he's hard to pass. Young Jacob Mitchell as well. Gary Parker, the stalwart himself. The man from out the mines, Ian White. Scott Ritchie from down south. You got Crumpy, Brett Parsons back into it. Jacko, who's done well recently as well. As you said, Booker, Cody Hutter, and even Aaron Barkler. But yeah, overall, it is up for grabs, the BDC Engineering New Zealand Modified Champs, and we'll bring in the man himself.
Here he is.
Iconic racer of Waikaraka Park there, Jamie Fox. Jamie, welcome back to the show, bro.
Yeah, g'day, guys. How's it going?
Good,
Yeah, good. Hey, what's going through your mind at the moment? Knowing in a couple of sleeps, the New Zealand Champs is up for grabs on your home track.
Oh, yeah, I suppose it's a bit sad, but I just got to try and stay focused. I mean, last year, of course, we went to Taranaki and only did a lap in the final, so, you know, anything can happen. It's no good. We don't change anything we do from a normal event, really, to be honest with you. The car's prep the same every week, so it's good to go. And yeah, I mean, it's just, you just got to step it up a notch. It'll obviously be a little bit more aggressive, I suppose. But yeah, key is just to qualify, and then we'll go from there.
Do you
You heard it, yeah. Oh, sorry, Karen Books.
I just say, is it when it's a New Zealand Champs time? Do you change your focus at all? Do you find yourself getting more aggressive than you would at a normal meeting, so to speak?
Yeah, well, you have to really. You just you have to probably take a few more risks, I suppose you'd say. That's where Brad's mastered the art, isn't he? He drives that same way every week. So come New Zealand Champs time, he's already prepped for it, isn't he? You know. I suppose I used to be a bit like that, but not so much now. I'm not quite as aggressive as we need to be, but yeah, no, we've been focusing on just getting the car right these last couple of meetings, and I think we've got the pace. So we just need a little bit of luck, and I'll do my part, and I'm sure the car will be fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll just it will be what it'll be, I suppose.
You know, in your racing career, Jamie, especially at the New Zealand Championship titles, how often would it have been that you had to do it all in one day?
I think the one in Christchurch I won, that was all done in one night because we had a rain off. And Huntley the other year, remember you guys were down there a couple of years ago when Brad won it? Yeah. That was a pretty tough day. That was a long day, man. And I think Red made the right call because there was guys from the South Island, so they wanted to get it through. And I haven't spoken to anyone about the promotion up here, but obviously, you know, they saw fit to do what they're doing. So the good thing is, I suppose, it is going to be hard work. It's one night. I think it's good that Bruce has put a practice on for the out-of-towners, or actually for who wants to go. So, yeah, they can go and turn some laps. I mean, at the end of the day, a track's a track, and it's normally different on a New Zealand title night to qualifying night. So, yeah, I mean, I've been to plenty of them. Some I've won, just been pretty relaxed, and some I've been a bit hyped up, and she's all turned to shit in the first race. So, you know, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, kids.
Okay.
I was just thinking, like you mentioned about the track changes, like from qualifying night to the finals night. Yet you're having to deal with the whole qualifying finals night all in one instance. Is that, do you sort of have to change the car quite a bit more when you do it like a one-day meeting? Like that weekend at Huntly, the track changed so much. Were you chasing the car a bit? Is that what happens with these one-nighter nights? Because, I mean, when you boys are at full noise, the track, she cleans up quick, you know, and gets a bit slack. It can do. With those extra races that you're going to do all on the one track with the modifiers, do you chase it quite a bit through the night with it changing so much?
Yeah, well, of course, like you say, there's so many cars on it. It's going to go slick. I think, not that I know, but I think that's probably why they've dropped the saloons in favour of the stock cars to help tune the track a bit. I think you're right. It's going to go slick because of the number of cars, definitely. So, yeah, I mean, we've had good tracks there. We've had there's always plenty of passing. The Super Saloon Auckland Champs the other night was pretty awesome to watch, actually, and they did some mean passing. So yeah, hopefully, you know, the weather's got a bit to do with it, but hopefully, you know, the guys know what they're doing. Bruce knows what he's doing. And, you know, I wouldn't want to be a promoter these days, mate. Yeah, it's damned if you do and damned if you don't. You know, I mean, it's just hard work. You know, it's just hard enough racing. I wouldn't want to get involved in that.
Definitely. I just want to go back a couple of weeks ago to the 240s. It was great to have the modifieds at that huge event, and it's been many years since I've been racing back at Rotas. You've raced here many a time. You won a BOP champs and whatnot. How good was it actually to have the class, even though it was short-lived for you guys, because the rain was definitely coming towards the end of that night at that 240s. What was it like, though, you know, just being in amongst the cauldron and seeing all the fans around the outside? What was it like to be back out there in your modified at Rotorua?
Oh no, awesome. We love that. That, you know, like I love super stocks, as you know. I've been to the teams this weekend, and yeah, no, it was an awesome weekend. We were there as a fill-in. So Sam done the right thing. He pulled the meeting forward as quick as he could to get what he could done. Once again, you know, what do you do there? You're going to upset someone. The 240s on that weekend. That's the one you want to get through. So yeah, no, we were stoked. It's Rotorua is a technical track. I heard some comments. Someone said, you know, all the mods are tootling around the pole line. You know, Brad tried his ass off to get it to work out wide, and he spun out twice. So, you know, people got to understand different. That's the beauty of the sport. Different tracks are different kettle of fish, and that's where you get your experience from, going to all these different tracks. And hey, if you could whip around the outside of every track like Huntly and Rotorua, it'd be great. But those tracks are more technical. You've got to be on your game, and it's a different style of racing, you know. But yeah, we love it. I love it. You know, of course, I won my first title in Rotorua, so I love the place. I love what Stan and Sonia and all the members of that place have done over the years. I remember it was nothing like that when we first started going there, but you know, they've built a world-class stadium, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Were you at Palmerston North last weekend, Jamie?
Yeah. I went down with Fredo.
Oh yeah. So there is no truth that you're going to be doing super stock teams in the rest of your career.
He's a frickin' steerer, isn't he? Hey?
No. I must admit, I really enjoyed it. I had my son and his partner there, and it was just real relaxing. We stayed in the campground. I raced with Paul Dewar over the years, so we were up in the corporate box with him and old Crash Kinser, who used to race modifieds, and Jack, who's a sprint car driver. So I got to mingle with all the top knobs up there, mate. It was good fun, and
Couple of
certainly
quiet
good to
ales.
see.
A few drinks, eh?
Yeah. No, it was good, and I actually I got to thank Peter Rees. Actually, he Peter and Asher, we went for a bit of a tour out to his shed and had a good look around there, and he's those boys were doing the work on the cars, man. They know what they're doing. There's no shitting around there. They just get into it and get the job done. There was hundreds of people walking around, and they were just pretty focused on what they were doing. But I just want to thank Pete. My little nephew was cheeky enough, Fredo's son. He was he was cheeky enough to ask Peter if he could have one of the old side panels laying around the back of the garage, and he said, "Oh, well, you go and get one you want and bring it round." And he turns up with two 1NZ ones off Asher Rees' last super stock car, and I thought, I don't like your chances of getting that. But Asher, Pete went and talked to Asher, and Asher said, yeah, he could have one. And yeah, I was pretty surprised, actually. That's pretty awesome. I think Asher signed it, and the boy had a photo with him. He's only 10 years old, he's just started racing mini stocks. So it was an awesome, for me, not racing, it was just kicking back was really good, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
See, those are the stories that me and Kins tell people that Peter and Asher are like because of the shit they get. And people don't hear about the stuff like that. There's this young kid saying, hey, and he grabs one of the ones that probably everyone in the country wants, and Asher signs it, said, yeah, no worries, mate, you have it. And that's the type of family they are in Speedway.
Yeah, no, they we never put him up to it. He asked himself just out of the blues while we were talking with Peter.
Yeah.
And he went and got them and turned up with them, and Pete actually said, oh, I don't know about those, but I'll go and see Asher. And Asher was flat out, they were scaling cars, and yeah, he took the time to do that and to sign. I thought it was pretty awesome,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, yeah.
And that's a memory that kid will never forget, Kins. And that's a lifetime memory. And that's what I love about this sport, our Speedway. Things like that. When you hear stories like that, and young kids, remember it like the young kid we got that sit on the front of Pete's car for the Grand Parade. Memories forever. And that's something you'll remember forever too, Foxy. It's just, that's what Speedway's about, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I've never been up close and too personal with those sort of guys when they're having that sort of meeting, because I know the sort of stress we're under, and you're sort of trying to focus. And Pete had actually he's a little bit sore from the night before, so he was taking a bit of time out just off to one side when I was talking to him. But definitely opened my eyes to what they're doing out there as opposed to what I've heard that goes on. It's a bit rough and messy and all this, but if I was racing super stocks, mate, I'd be getting them to do some work on mine, because they weren't pissing around. They just hoed into it, and they were pretty focused on what they're doing,
Yeah. Definitely. Oh, I love that, Jamie, what you said there. And like Booker said, that is memories forever. And to wrap it up with you, mate, you've given so many of your fans, your fans, your family, everyone that sponsored you over the many years, everyone that's been around you for all of those decades, some great memories. And let's hope those memories continue this Saturday night with the big event happening up there in Auckland, mate. So I appreciate you joining us and sharing a little bit of that. And there you go. He is not going to get into Superstock teams racing. He's just confirmed that. I've just started the rumor. Pete might give him a drive in one of his cars one day. How cool would that be? I know Brad Lane won't say no. Brad Lane will jump in one of those bloody things. But hey, mate, I do appreciate you joining us on our show. It's always been a pleasure to have you on the show. You keep smiling. You always bring out some of those great memories, and that's where you're heading into It's your family time now. That's where you're going to dedicate your life. But the first focus is this Saturday for the BDC Engineering, who've been a massive part of your career as a sponsor over the years.
Yep.
So we wish you all the best, mate. I know it's going to be quite emotional for you on the Saturday, but thanks for those memories, and we'll catch up with you soon, eh?
Yep, no worries. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
eh?
Jamie.
Thanks, Jamie.
Awesome, mate. Thanks, mate.
So you go and have a beer now, mate. You're all
You
good.
gave a beer.
Thank you.
It's a good story, eh, Box? That's a
look,
bloody great
it's stuff
story.
like that. People seem, for all the slack they get given and the shit they get given, mate, there'd have been a queue of people. There'd have been 1,000 people. If someone said Ash has given away a 1NZ panel off his last year's car, there'd have been a queue 1,000 long. It's that kid's lucky, and and I know how busy they get there doing the cars on that Saturday, ready for the next night. For Asher just to stop working because he's he's the main dude there. I think that's good, and I love Foxy. He's ready. You can see him. He's ready for the sweet hand day. You can see it in him. He knows what has to be done. And he talks about Brad a lot. I think he rates Mr. Lane up there quite a bit, but we won't let him get too big ahead. We'll bring him back down shortly. But he's right. They're going to have to be aggressive around the outside, and that's how Brad drives all the time. So it's mate. It's going to be on like Donkey Kong at Waikaraka Speedway. Hey? Oh, look at that.
There you go.
How'd you find that so quick?
Fredo just messaged me. Fredo Morgan's busy watching.
There you go. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. If I click it there, does it? Oh, no, that's Fred. There's Fredo and Jamie. That's what they're talking about. I was talking about before. Look at them having their morning tea together. There's Fredo. Look. Yeah, there you go.
Lucky
boys,
man. That's awesome.
Look at that. You know what? I'm gutted because I was out there too.
Yeah, you wanted one, eh? You were looking at them saying, I want one of those.
But I didn't want to do anything because all the other people might have looked at me and go,
everyone can see your page now, bro. Minimize your... don't share.
You can see...
You did that wrong.
Pornhub.
No. Well, it must be trying to bring old Carlos. Is Carlos there? I can't see if he's...
Yeah, he was there. Let's have a look at the workshop.
Oh, here he's coming back, running back from working on the car. We caught you out, mate. You're working too hard.
I'm actually, I'm not working on the car today. I'm working on an old 1974 David Brown 995 tractor. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll get back on the car tomorrow night. Yeah.
Hey, obviously, you would have heard the start of the show there. Hans gave a bit of a quick rundown there, Carlos, on how things are going to go on the Saturday night. It's a one-night gig. You would have heard the words there just briefly of Jamie Foxx, who's raced like 1 million laps around the country, more modified laps than any driver these days when you think 4 decades. What do you think, someone like that just given so much to the sport over his life, and hey, this is his final NZ championship, in some sense you would think you put him up there with the likes of your hometown, Murray Gorge is an example of many others.
Yep, absolutely. Foxy's a heck of a gentleman and really clean racer. He, when I started racing modifieds about 10 years ago, I think I might have met him at Rotorua or somewhere, and I just he's one of those guys you want to drive like, 'cause he's always so clean and gives you plenty of room and I was probably a bit out of control in the first season. But, never a crossword or nothing like that. He's pretty chilled out. So good fella, real good fella. Yeah, highly respected.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Last year, when you think about it, 12 months ago, when you had the NZs on your home track, and you planted the 2 NZ on there, mate, that must have been a cool buzz, especially on your home track.
Oh, definitely. Yep. No, something you'll you remember forever for doing something like that. Just like you said, doing it at the home track was the big thing for me. That's what really took a month or two to set in. That's for real.
Yeah. Mate, and you put it up for grabs this weekend, eh? It's up for grabs. Someone else might want to take it off you, unless you want to go one spot up or whatever.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I think everyone's there to try, so everyone's going there to grab that number ones, aren't they? So you just got to knuckle down and try and, like Foxy said, focus on it and do your job. You're going there to do a job.
How's the car been tracking this season so far, Carlos?
Yeah, no, good books. It's we took it down to Wellington and we won the Tama Memorial with it down there.
Yeah.
And then we did the North Islands at Stratford. Ended up third with that. So, yeah, no, I haven't done a heck of a lot of racing, but what we've done all right. Have
you had any laps at Auckland this season yet?
Went there the very opening, Foxy's first farewell meeting. Went there and did that, and we had a bit of a whoopsie in the third one. Ended up in a bit of a pile up, but no, that happens. And but it was going good. It was going really good up until then. Yeah, yep, I was pretty happy.
You know, when you take a look at the past 12 months, you know, it's gone by so fast. How years go by real bloody quick these days, and having that 2NZ is something you'll cherish forever. You know, with your family, with the crew, and it's been something so special.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely didn't go along that night expecting to end up on the podium. That was for real. We were going to try. We were going to try like hell, but we didn't expect to pull it off. But no, we did. And it was a team effort. It was really good. It was good to have Muzzer Gorge was there as well. Muzzer and Chrissy come along, and that was real special as well to have them there, and all my friends and family. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, boxing way down in Stratford. You know, we're walking around and we look at someone goes, and you had the luxury of being on the infield when the helicopter arrived, and you got to speak to some true legends. And when I think of Stratford,
I got a bit starstruck.
Yeah, you got starstruck, Willie Noonan. But when you walk around at these kind of championships, you see some of these iconic names that have been associated with this particular class. They're still supporting. Murray was right by Carlos, you know. Then you got Newton there, but you just see them there. I know Roger Bertram's there as well, giving assistance, and we see that these legends of the sport, they love the class, but they show up at the track to help out with their Q&A books.
Yeah, there was a lot of that last year, and you know, like I think Murray was helping Jacko as well out a bit too. To be honest, I mean, these guys, they just it's mate, that was awesome at Stratford, and I feel that. How slick that track went. I just think it's going to be very slick for them at Auckland. And that sort of a segue for me on to ask it another question for Carlos is that, like, you know, in advance this time that the whole meeting's going to be run in one day. We had Huntley, it was sort of rain and then let's do this, we've got to get through it. But do you prepare differently knowing that? Because like I said to Foxy, I believe when you get those extra, like, you do a qualifying night, you go away, the track gets regraded, gets reset, and you're there for this finals night. Yep. You're going to do your qualifying, there's going to be no regrading, no reset of the track, and then you're going to go into your finals. So do you add extra tyres? Do anything different you do prepping for a meeting like that, knowing that it's going to be all in one big hit?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like Foxy was saying before, they took the saloons out, didn't they, and stuff like that, because they knew that they'd get rid of those big wheels. So to try and cut back a bit with it going slick. But you sort of know when you come in from a race, you know what to do next. You know, it's whether she was too tight or too loose or what have you, and where it's going. It's all about trying to read the track, and it takes a driver quite a few years to understand that. I'm still learning how to read the track properly, you know, only from what Murray and Jacko have taught me. But yeah, and Dad, you know, Dad used to race saloons for years as well, so I've learned a lot from him. But yeah, I think the more of it is, you say it's going to be done in one night. It's more about the driver. We're going to have to pick up a 12-pack of V's or something like that, I think. And,
no pies this week, mate. It's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting to me that you say, yeah, sorry?
When they said it was going to go over one night, I wasn't too worried. I just thought, Jesus, how am I going to last that long? It's a hell of a marathon for a big boy like me, but we'll be right.
It's interesting, Kins, that here I am talking. Do you prepare and try and predict what it's going to be like for the track? But then Carlos says after the first race, you sort of know where the track's heading. So that's interesting. So you sort of just take it. You sort of you're not really preparing in advance for what sort of track you're going to get. Once you do that first race, that's what decides the rest of your night. You can see the flow from that. Is that what you're saying, basically?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of factors that come into it. If you're starting early and you know the sun's going down and things like that, you know that might come back a little bit or it might go the other way. But hey, you'd be pretty confident to think with 26 modifieds turning up on Saturday night, she's probably going to go a bit slick. So
yeah.
Yeah, that's it. We can talk about the track side of things. We can talk about the machinery. We can talk about the big night ahead. But also, like Carlos said, you got to put into perspective the driver, him or herself.
The fatigue.
Because they've got a huge night, fatigue and everything. Like you said, 12 pack of V's. That's just to get you through the qualifying side of it. You got to get stuff. Your mental side of it, knowing it'll be dusty, race ready, everything like that comes into complex because you got to prepare yourself. It's people got to realize as fans, what you got to go through because it's just fast pace, hard set. Only X amount of cars to go through. Some are got to get through on the reprecharge, and you take a look at the caliber of the two groups. Right, holy hell, holy hell.
Yep. There might only be 26 cars, but they're all capable of doing it. It's a pretty hard field.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing with it being the Saturday, what you head up and leave from down home on the Friday, I'm guessing.
Yep. No, we booked our accommodation for the Friday night anyway. So instead of leaving Friday morning, we'll just buzz off Friday lunchtime sort of thing. Going to work on Friday and sort the boys out, and then cut a track. Yeah.
Pretty cool. All right, go to work first, and we'll go racing up.
Yeah.
Pick up the V's on the way, and we're all sorted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I decided on Monday this week to start getting fit for the New Zealand. So I've been going for a walk every night so far. So I'm going to do that next.
Monday this week. Decided this week I better get fit for Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. I decided on Monday.
That sounds like my bloody regime, mate. I tell you. I got to walk around the pits next weekend. I'm going to do some walking at home first.
Yeah, that's right. Get to Sunday and we won't care anymore.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. Oh, fantastic.
What a good attitude. What a good attitude to have around it. And that's what you got to be, you got to have that kind of attitude. And, hey, I like it. What's the day? Wednesday. Only a couple of days I've been walking.
That's right.
You better get your steps up tomorrow if you're leaving Friday.
That's right. We'll get there. Don't worry. Life's too serious. You got to. We're doing this shit as a hobby, so you got to treat it like a hobby.
Yeah, 100%. And if you're having fun, that show. I think the more fun you have, the more it shows through in your driving as well. To be fair, you're just a bit more relaxed sometimes, and I think that's like I look at Brad Lane sometimes the way he drives. But during the time, he doesn't have a care in the world, that guy, sometimes. And I think that shows in the driving how he just like, send it. It's got to go, and that shows in his normal life when you talk to him and he's having fun and like yourself having fun. It projects back through your driving style, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Now, when Brad puts his helmet on, he's in his happy place, and which is for most of us guys and girls doing it. That's why we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, awesome. Carlos, look, it's been awesome catching up with you, and I know you're busy working on tractors and so forth. Have a nice cruisy trip up to Auckland on the Friday. Don't forget to pick up the V's, mate, and you're representing the home track of your track. Stratford obviously is a 2NZ. I wish you all the best, and take care, bro, and we'll see you over the weekend, eh?
Yep. Thanks, Kinser. Book it. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Carlos. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, Carlos.
Thanks. Cheers. See ya.
See ya. There we go. 2NZ put it up there for grabs. This coming Saturday, the BDC Engineering New Zealand Modified Champs gets underway at 6:30, as Hans said early. You might have seen on the Facebook page and everything around. It does say 7, but get there early. There is a practice for the drivers on the Friday to get their cars prepared, especially those who never ran it up in Auckland. So that's underway. And 6:30, just giving you the heads up. 6:30 it starts on the Saturday.
I just want to say thank you to Tracy Vincent. She sent us some stars, Kin. So thank you for that. We appreciate the support and your donation to help out. Like we said, we put part of that donation that you give us as a star towards a charity. So thank you. We appreciate that. and those that gave us stars last night as well. We appreciate that. So it's something we've got on our page now. When you're watching us, you can give us a star or two, and it all goes to a good charity, and it helps me and Kins get around the country to bring you guys and girls more shows from the pits and the pits with us walking around talking to drivers. So
Exactly, mate. And tomorrow we'll continue on too. We'll carry on with the MIP. Sam Ashton will join us as well, and we're going to talk to a couple of the kids that are heading across the ditch to represent New Zealand. But with the build-up for the big two-nighter in TW's Paradise, Rally Speedway is the mini stocks. What was that, bro?
And also the young kid that won the junior section last year is joining us too. So we'll get have a word with that young man as well. So please join us tomorrow night, because these young kids, they need our support, and they are the future of our speedway. They're what we see in a few years' time, you know. And we see them coming up, and they seem to be, these 1NZs these days come out of mini stocks, eh? So come and see them. You might be let's support them 110%.
Yeah, 100%. Nana Gale, good to have you on the show. Richie Mason, Blair Sales, who's still excited, him and his daughter Atahua, who won the prize. Well, his daughter did. She was on the car with me, Peter Reese's car, Flynn Ashton, Jackie Miller, Scotty Laney Lean. Hey, Scotty, Fredo's watching, Robin Green, Andrew McHugh, Jason Wilson, Jamie Fox kicked back into watching, Samantha Keeling, Tyler Walker. Tyler, mate, we're going to catch up with you next week as well. Talking for the Stratford Stormers as well. So look forward to that. Let's bring in the defending champ. There he is, sitting there looking nice and tidy, clean shaved.
Clean shaven.
As smooth as ever. Looks $1 million. Looks $1 million. Brad Lane, how are you, mate?
Yeah, all good, lads. Yourselves?
Yeah, we're good, mate.
What's that in the background behind you, bro? What's that going on there?
Yep.
Tell them we can hear them, eh?
Hey, you fellas have to keep the noise down. They can hear you.
If they got it on the big speaker there, we can hear us coming back through.
Oh, can you? Yeah, you have to turn it down too, Pops. They can hear it coming back through. Hey, you fellas have to keep the noise down. Down, you clown. Right, there you go. That's all.
Oh, my goodness.
This is going to be fun.
Where
are they? Where they got it on? Oh, they got it on the TV.
Yeah.
Now. Sorry, boys. Sorry, guys.
As soon as you put that camera on, Pops, mate, he ducks every time, Brandis. Every time. You're mean to him. You're mean to our mate.
Lovely. They're like listening to themselves laughing, watching, looking at themselves. Oh, God.
But it's like Carlos said, you got to have a good laugh and a bit of fun with it, eh? You got to have that pretty chilled out kind of attitude. But when the action hits and that green flag drops on Saturday, Brad, you got to be switched on, bro. And you know about this. You've been back-to-back champions. You got to be clicked on.
Yeah, that's it exactly. It's all fun and games up here, working on the car and stuff. And, obviously if it's not, then the boys wouldn't come up and help out. So, you got to keep a fun atmosphere. And then obviously when it comes to game time on Saturday night, she's head down, hammer down, and, focused on what you got to do, what you got to try and achieve.
Yeah. Look, we had Jamie Fox on just a few minutes ago, talking about, obviously this is his last New Zealand Championship on his home track, what he's given to the sport. He's raced alongside Pops and many other great names of the sport, mate. Credit to him, it's now going to be focused on his family time, which is very important to him. And, mate, he's given so much to the sport.
Yeah, exactly. He's done it. Him and his team have done it for long enough. Everything he's won, and, you look at everything he's done, it's bloody phenomenal. The amount of times they've won the Waikato champs or the Auckland champs for that matter, or even the Dirt Cup, they're up in the teams. So for anybody to try and achieve that, that's just phenomenal. And obviously, once they're gone, it'll be a bit of a loss to the class. But hopefully they can sell their two cars that they got there, and we can bring two more competitors into the sport and into the class, and try and keep the modifieds going.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't understand why more people don't get into it, to be fair. Like, when you look at the price of racing in a modified and the price of racing a super stock is it's not just a few $1,000s different. I mean, it's tens of thousands of dollars different, you know. And we watch you, mate. You have a hell of a fun time out there in your modified, you know. And I've even seen you give a few a bunt and get out of the way, like old GARAGE16 Aaron. He never went so fast when he got in front of you, getting pushed down the straight. You know,
Yeah, it is. You know, it is a cheap-ish sport. You know, you can any sport you can spend as much money as you want, but to be competitive in a modified, it doesn't really cost you all that much. You know, you look at the likes of Barry Hunter and stuff with a standard 350 Chev at Rotorua. You know, he finished second. Jacko couldn't even pass him. You know, he was trying his bloody ass off too, but he couldn't quite get there. You know, so it shows you that you can just, you know, you can turn up with what you got and sort of come out and enjoy yourself and enjoy the sport.
Yeah.
He knows about this kind of stuff too, Book say, because he's told us before, Brad, when we've had him on the show, we caught up with him at the track and spoke with the family. They just turn up with what they've got. But what they've got gets them the accolades or getting on the podium, you know, and he's showed that. We saw that at Huntley. We saw that down in Stratford. And, you know, even though
He's got a little bit of
on your
talent,
side,
though, eh? Just a
he's got
smidge of
talent.
talent, you know, just a little bit, you know. It's like he's got mostly mum's genes, eh? Not pops.
I don't think I wear women's jeans, but yep.
Listen, on a bit of a serious note though, Brad, we talked off a while back, offline. We went on thing, and you're talking about attitude and the attitude of saying I'm going to win, and this year you've taken a different step towards your focus, how you're going to work things at the track and what you're going to do. Have you found changing that attitude has worked better for you this season? Like going there, going, right, I'm here, I'm focusing, I'll talk to everybody after the racing, no one can beat me, let's do this. Have you found that changing that has stepped you up a bit better this year?
Yeah, well, it seems to. Obviously, you know, you're more focused on the car and what's happening at the track, because, you know, quite often you'll get home, you'll be like, oh, well, why didn't I think of that? Or why didn't I do that? You know, and you're sort of sitting there and you go, well, you know, so if you try and take all those other distractions out, then that gives you a clearer head and gives you that advantage, then so be it. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's been working, you know, just try and stay focused at the track, on the car, on the actual racetrack surface itself, and just making sure everything's a hundy, you know. Because yeah, you know, if you're not in the right mind frame, well then you know you're more prone to make mistakes and not be on top of your game, obviously. So Nick wouldn't like that, obviously.
I mean,
but yeah, you just gotta have you know, eyes forward and try and focus on what you're doing, because that's the biggest thing. Because everybody is such good mates in the modified class, you know, you can go talk to anybody and have a bit of a laugh and you know, have a good chat, and then all of a sudden you forgot what you were thinking about while you were walking over there or what have you, and it slipped your mind, and then, you know, it can cost you.
Yeah, well, you know, when me and Booker were sitting there at Rotorua, we caught up with you next year, man. Those t-shirts went like hotcakes. They were like, bomb. They were gone, skis, you know, just out the gate gone. And like we were standing there talking, we got our little shirts, and then we tell like, holy shit, where'd all this queue come from? But what I was going to talk about is you hadn't raced at Rotorua for some time. And like Foxy said, it was good to be back there. That's where he won his first title all those years gone by. What I liked when I watched you backed yourself to give that outside line a bit of a go. Even though you spun out in front of us, you will try anything, you know, and we were like jumping up and down. We're like, what? Look at the Brad, he comes Brad. Look. Oh, shit.
Yeah. And then we said, oh, look, he ran out of talent. And nah.
Well, that's it. Yeah, you know, obviously Rotorua being real tight like it was, or is, sorry. Obviously it's harder to make that pass stick, but I don't really enjoy sitting behind somebody and following them. But Fox is right, it's definitely a technical track. You know, you sort of got to wait for them to slip up and then try and get underneath. And with the teams thing that they had sort of going on there, it made that very difficult actually, because, you know, people were driving a lot more, defensive or covering their line, you know, so you really did struggle to make that pass. So, you know, around the top was sort of the only place or opportunity you had to do it. So, and obviously a couple of times there the track wasn't quite there enough for the cars, so we looped it up, but that's the way it goes. I'd rather die trying than sitting there behind the dude in front of me hoping that he went faster.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What was it like though when you saw those fans? You were standing by your trailer and doing the stuff with your t-shirts, and when you turned around, I was like, holy hell, the boxes were empty, mate. Your merch was, people wanted, like, oh, shit, did they want it?
Yeah, it's bloody wicked, eh? Obviously it's been 2 or 3 years in the making for these new shirts, which we had a good supplier prior for the first shirts we done, but yeah, that didn't quite work out the second time round. So we spent a bit of time researching and trying to find the sort of next best thing, cost wise and like the durability of the shirts and the printing and stuff in them. So we think we found that, and they seem to be pretty good. But yeah, just the people that rolled up to the trailer, I sort of knew it was going to be hectic when we rolled in, but I didn't think it was going to be that bad. But we pretty much the whole order we bought was pretty much gone by the end of that bloody half an hour or whatever it was, which is ridiculous. I think we bought, I think it might have been 200 pieces or something, 200 odd shirts, and they're pretty much all gone. So it's just crazy. But it's so cool to see the the fans' perspective of it too. They all come down, they get to look around the car and stuff and what have you, and sort of interact with the crew and myself and stuff, and that many people. It's just it's wicked, real wicked to see.
Yeah. I walked down to Palmy last Thursday, Waitangi Day to Palmy teams. I was walking around, cruising around, thinking I was cool, and the amount of people that came up to me in the plazas going, "Oh, excuse me, where'd you get that shirt from?" I could have sold like 100 of the bloody things. And then I walked around Friday, just cruised around. But it was about promoting you as a New Zealand modified champ. And it's such a cool t-shirt. The amount of people that bloody come up to me says, excuse me, can I buy those? I could have sold like boxes of the bloody things down there.
Yeah.
But it was cool.
But there was a thing too, trying to create a bloody wicked shirt. Nothing against anybody else's out there, but they're all, well, they're not generic, but they're. I just wanted to try and do something different, like with the 2 cars on it and stuff. Maybe more like an American style shirt, but just something different, so that it did stand out from the crowd a little bit. So hence why it took so long.
So how's the prep? Oh, sorry, boss.
Sorry, I was going to say. So my big question is, if you go back to back this weekend, mate, are we going to see the donut with the steering wheel out the window?
Yeah, I tried to practice that. So the last meeting we ran at Auckland, we ran there, and then we ran Waiku on the Sunday. And I actually had the flag out the window, and I was starting to pull the steering wheel off, but it wasn't quite going round and round. So it didn't quite come out for some early practice. But hey, if it does come to fruition on Saturday, I guess I'll have to change it up.
like you said, Brad, change it up. Does this whole deal all in one night in your mindset? Because we heard Carlos speaking before, he's already started walking for a bit of fitness. Jamie says, just have to see what happens. What's your mindset around the whole deal being on one day?
I don't mind it, to be completely honest.
Okay, cool.
Maybe one of the pros that I can see from it is that you're not coming back to another track. Like Booker said, that they're not going to relay the track overnight, and the rest of it's all going to be one night. So it gives you more time to sort of finesse your setup, I guess, too, and possibly even for the out of towners that don't race there much, like the likes of the fellas from Christchurch and Greymouth and what have you, that they can that it gives them sort of 2 races to get on top of the track already prior to the final 3 heats. So I see it as sort of a pro. I don't mind it, to be honest, but I wouldn't really care either way if it was 2 nights or one night. But the last meeting at Auckland with the Auckland Super Saloon champs, they had 24 Super Saloons there, as well as, I think it was 8 modifieds. And we probably did the same amount of laps, maybe if not more, with big tyres on there. And the track held up bloody phenomenal. So, if it can sort of hold up like that, this weekend will be wicked. I was looking at the tides the other day too, and she's low tide at 7:37, so she might not be as hooked up as we'd hope.
Kins, did you not realise that, mate? The tides affect turn 1 and 2.
Yeah. I know what he was.
I saw your face and you went. He's not going bloody fishing. Well, he might.
I know. It's going to be bloody hot, though. You know, you got to put that into that factor as well, the heat. And, you know, like Carlos said, he's going to grab a pack of 12 E's, mate. What's going to keep you going? Or are you just going to ride on pure adrenaline?
Yeah, hopefully. I don't, maybe a couple of mothers or Red Bulls or whatever, some Mad Mikes. Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, when you're at the track, you know, some of these people turn up early as, which you can understand for parking and stuff, but I try and get there as late as I can. So I get there and it's all, you know, get the car out, get it scrutineered, go to driver's briefing, warm it up, get on the track, go racing, and it's all just go, go, go from the start there, you know. So it just keeps you going. If you sit down and stop, well, that's when it sort of tires you out. But if you keep going and keep moving, she's all go.
Yeah. Mate, it's going to be epic, eh? Unfortunately, I'm not going to make it there this year now, which is a bit of annoying. But
yeah.
Well, the reason I'm not, I had to get the ticker checked this week, so I can't travel this week. So it's your health has to come first before Speedway, unfortunately. But yeah, otherwise I'd be there with bells on for that. I wanted to be there for Foxy's final, and I also wanted to be there to see if Brad went the three-peat. That would have just blown me away. So I do wish you all the best, mate. So yeah, I hope it does happen. I won't put any money on you at the TAB because then you won't get it.
Yes, exactly. No betting on me.
Don't bet on Brad. Yeah, don't bet on Brad. Did you take a few more extra tyres this weekend?
And it's been all right. Yeah, that's a big thing at the moment. We're just getting through the tyre prep as we speak. But yeah, you know, we've kind of got the facilities to do tyre changes and stuff at the track. So, you know, demount and remount tyres. So, sort of, yeah, run the quali heats, and then we'll have a picture on what the track's going to do and what we're looking at for stagger wise and the rest of it. So then we can remount some tyres prior to the 3 heats and sort of hopefully be on top of it before, you know, instead of rushing around in between races trying to do it. So that's the plan anyway.
You know, when you were doing at the track there, Brad, is it you and Pops have quite a big discussion about what to turn and what to change on the car? Is it like, I mean, he's obviously knows a lot about modifiers. He's been there a long time and done it. But to me, do you guys have discuss everything you do together, or do you just go and do it and say, no, we'll do this, or does he say, you do this, boy, or is it how's that dynamic work for you, mate?
Yeah, so Pops is the motor man, really. So he sort of stays on top of that. That's his thing. And then setup wise, I sort of really do it myself. But I do, you know, consult from, you know, especially if I feel something, I'll ask them if they could see it from the outside, not just him, but also the other boys and stuff, to try and, you know, to try and get a bit more of an understanding. Obviously, you know, I can feel how it feels on the seat, but whether it looks like that on the outside is another thing too. So, you know, if I can get a bit more of an understanding of it and then make the adjustment accordingly, you know, definitely helps out. But you know, every part of the crew plays their part. You know, tires, diff gears, fuel. You know, everybody does their bit, which makes it obviously easier on me on Saturday to make the changes to the car and sort of stay on top of that and the track. You know, so yeah, everybody plays their part, man, and they're all big parts too.
Like, I'm quite intrigued to know what part do you do, or how does it work? That you're the only one that I really see that can wheel stand your modifier down the track.
They probably all can, because he's just the only one that does.
He's the only one we see that doesn't, eh? You know, there was the image that went social media the other day, and Marcus did just remind me when he posted it in there. A bloody wheel stand. It's like, what the hell? I've seen him do it at Huntley when I've commentated as well, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I can sort of, I wouldn't say do it on cue, but you can sort of feel when it gets in the stance to do it that you kind of know it's going to do it. So, and cool. You know, at the end of the day, we're entertainers, really. You know, if we don't put on a show for the crowd, then they don't come back. So, But yeah, the one on the weekend was probably one of the biggest ones I've done at Auckland. That was the bumper was on the ground, and I was still trying to pass him too. I sort of come up, and I could still see his wing, probably for a split second. I was like, I'll just leave my foot in here. Well, might be able to get him at the line because we'll come to the checkered flag. But the wing soon went out of vision real quick. So. And then it sort of started phasing left, and I was like, yeah, no, I think we'll pull out of this one.
And that's exactly right. Brad has nailed that. Credit to Brad Lane and everyone behind him because true entertainer. He's been entertaining in the 1NZ for the last couple of seasons, you know, and you can't question his achievements on the track. He currently leads by a big margin in the Only and Speedway of Excellence Awards. I don't know if anyone's going to get near this young man. He's the previous winner from the inaugural Speedway Excellence Awards as well. And what he's done for you race fans out there, get along this Saturday, 6:30 start time. Just a reminder, 6:30 start time. And celebrate with these gentlemen and ladies out there because two groups, it gets narrowed down. They've got Repercharge and they're going to put on a hell of a show. For a whole night of entertainment. I'll tell you what, you're going to get your money's worth. You know, if you thought you got your money's worth last weekend at Palmy at the NZ Superstock Teams Champs, you're going to get the same at Auckland on Saturday. Anything else, Books, you want to add before we let Brad get back into his mahi
I
weekend
just
with us,
think I
Carl?
wish him and his family all the best for the weekend, and Samantha as well. I mean, she's obviously racing, so, you know, who knows? Maybe she might give old brother the right rear and take the win. You never know, eh? I don't think you'd allow that, though, would you, Brad, eh?
Yeah. A 1-2 would be nice, mate. That'd be bloody wicked.
I think if you guys get a 1-2, somebody better hold Pops up, mate. Seriously.
Yeah.
No, I just
buddy,
wish
what's
you
the
all the
gross?
best, mate, for the weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, we're huge supporters of you guys and the whole class, you know, and I'd just like to say to people out there, you know, go talk to these modified guys. We have never had any of them turn us away our weekends when we go and talk to them. The modified guys are always happy to talk to you, happy to just have a chat, sign a kid for an autograph. They're just all great people.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it. I think, you know, the modified class is generally like that, you know, and the people in it. And I think that's what makes it so enjoyable too. You know, we'll have a beer afterwards, even if we rub up each other and bloody stick it in the fence or whatever, you know, we'll have a beer afterwards and enjoy ourselves. But yeah, everybody's so helpful in the modified class. But yeah, I'll let you boys carry on anyway. Thank you very much.
Look, and you're right. Look, we thank you for your time joining us, Brad. I know you've always been obliging to join us on the show. Have us there at your place where you are now a little while back as well, and the family. And I know you got your aunties and everyone that comes along that films and does everything for you, mate. You know, it's credit to yourself, the Lane family, because what you've done in the class of modifieds. And look, let's start growing it. Jamie's finishing up, as Brad said. There's a couple of cars there. Why not throw a couple more drivers in there? And we'll see what happens. But wish you all the best. Safe travels just up the road, mate, with you and your family, and good luck on Saturday, eh?
Yeah, cheers, boys. Thank you very much, eh? Much appreciated.
Thanks, Bretters.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad Lane. 1NZ. Can you make it a three-peat? Hey, look what happened last weekend with the Glen Eagles. It's possible. Last year, one Ashery's done it as well. But, you know, can this young man do it? Of course he can do it. He's a true entertainer of the modified class, but it's not going to be an easy task because everyone else is hungry for the title, get on the podium with it. It's a 3, 2, and 1. You might think 3. Luke Brown was 3 down in Stratford, but we all know Luke is having fun out there in the sprint car as well. But we wish everyone that's heading up to be part of the BDC Engineering New Zealand Modified Champs, of course, get up to Auckland. It's part of the farewell for one man we spoke with tonight, Jamie Fox. Thanks, Jamie, for joining us. Also, thanks to Carl Hinton as well, the current 2NZ, but also to Hans, who you'll hear on the microphone. He's excited. He's ready for the event and bring it on the Saturday. I can tell you now, Met Service says, weather's looking brilliant. Take an umbrella, not for the rain, but to keep the sun off your head, or you end up looking like Booker, my mate here, as he got sunburned down the line over the weekend. But be safe out there, whether you are heading off to the big New Zealand Super Saloon Champs down south for the New Zealand Sidecast. It's a massive weekend of New Zealand Championships, and we carry on tomorrow. MIP.
Come and join us and celebrate with the kids tomorrow night, man, for our MIP show. It's going to be awesome. Those kids, they deserve They deserve the support that we can give them, eh?
100%, mate. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the stars supporting the show and your lovely comments. And we look forward to catching you back out tomorrow. Don't forget to next week. It's just about every night except for Friday. It's the part of the Makita Tools New Zealand Stock Car Teams Championships. The big build-up. We catch up with the drivers of all the teams. 13 teams now. So look forward to a busy show for Booker and I. Monday through to Thursday. Yes, I know, mate. I know. No rest for the wicked. No rest for the wicked.
Thanks, team.
Thanks,
we'll
everyone.
see us tomorrow night. Holy snapping duck shit.
My good mate from Bump and Run Booker joins us.
I'm excited for another great show tonight. Give it the hoot now.